Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Raptors Den, presented to you by Faulty Logics.
Hey guys, I'm here. My name's Peter. I'm here with my man Dan and our guest panelist here today, Meg, who was here with us last show. So getting into it here, we have had a lot of stuff wrap up since the last time we were on the air. We can go into it just to talk briefly about the agenda, which is what we're going to be talking about here today. We're going to start it off with the NBA playoff wrap up about the finals, the winners, finals MVP, funny moments that happened in the NBA finals games there for us as well. We can go over to talk about our Raptors and the new coaching change that has been official, firing of Dwayne Casey, which we talked about a lot in previous shows, and now where the next steps are leading to and how the coaching search went, as well as some key offseason movements where there's a lot of players that are contracts are coming up. A lot of people are changing sceneries, seeing where people are going to go, what kind of deals might be made there, as well as we're going to have a couple hot takes about some quotes that we found online, a couple good memes, just seeing about what we can be looking forward to this offseason in the NBA. Some good stuff coming out to you guys this week. Definitely stay tuned. I know Dan wants to throw it out quickly to the giveaway that we are finalizing here.
Yeah,
today.
so we pretty much giveaways done, I guess. We're gonna pick somebody next week, next episode.
Sure.
We're just gonna announce the winner next week. We'll message you guys so that we can get in touch with you, and then we'll get you the $15 Google Play gift card.
Yes. I know we've had some good comments left for these. We're going to find a deserving winner for sure. So let's get right into it here. Let's just wrap up the NBA Finals, which we had the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers facing off in this year's 2018 Finals. Dan, I'll let you take it away here.
Okay. So I guess we haven't talked about any of that at all. The last episode we had was right before the finals.
Yeah, semifinals.
So let's start from the beginning. Game 1.
Yeah. Well, first of all, for you guys that are only watching NBA through our show, it did go Boston lost to the Cavaliers in 7 games, and then Houston lost to Golden State in
7 games.
7 games? No. I'm pretty sure it was 6 games.
No, it was 7.
It was 7?
They both went
Both
to
7?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. They went 7. So we had year 4 of Cleveland versus Golden State in the NBA Finals. So getting into game 1, let's go into it.
All right, game 1. The Cavs played pretty good game 1, like pretty much all the way up to the very end.
The most interesting game of the finals for sure.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And honestly, I thought the Cavs were gonna walk away with a win there, which would have been huge. 1 win on the road for the Cavs,
Especially to start the series would have been big.
yeah. So I don't know. Well, everyone knows how it ended up.
Yeah, if you don't really know how it ended, you were living under a rock and you're not a real basketball fan. Just to give a quick rundown, it was the best game of the finals, the most competitive game in the finals there. It was a tie game. Well, actually, it was down by 1. Cavaliers were down by 1 with like 5 seconds left. George Hill was at the line. He hit his first foul shot to tie it. Went for the second one to take the lead. Unfortunately, he misses it. And out of nowhere, J.R. Smith comes down with the biggest rebound in his career. It was the biggest rebound of his career. 5 seconds left under the opposing team's net. Decides to dribble it out of the key.
All the way up to half court.
And waste the last 5 seconds to go to overtime. It's not the fact that he wasted the 5 seconds that gets me. It's the fact that LeBron James was wide open.
Yeah.
Even if you were up by 5 points, you give the ball to LeBron James whenever he's open. Like, no matter what, you give the ball to LeBron. The fact that he didn't know the time, the score, the situation is what gets it to me. I don't know how you can quantify that. Like, that is just the biggest bonehead mistake in the biggest moment of all time.
That was the game that they needed to win. That was if they had won that first game, it would have started on a completely different note. And I just feel like J.R. Smith completely ruined that for them. And quite frankly, I think LeBron feels the same way.
Well, he ended up with a broken hand, but
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the next thing. There was more that came off of that miss.
Yeah.
Like, not only did he not get a shot up, like it wasn't
It was
even
a bad
close.
shot. Like I think George Hill ended up taking the 3-pointer.
Yep.
It wasn't even in time. Even if
Yeah.
it went in, it was
It's
behind the buzzer.
Contested.
Yeah, it was not even a shot. So the fact of when J.R. Smith passed the ball at the very last second, he looked at LeBron like deer in the headlights, like, what the hell happened? I thought we were winning. You can see his lips, if you can read lips, he said, aren't we up 1? Like, he thought they were winning the game.
Yeah.
No excuses for that. Like, you, as a basketball player, there's very few things that you have to learn to know other than plays and, like, rotations. You should know the score and the time on the clock. Those are 2 things that you should know. Fair, you have to give, I don't want to say fault to the coach. Like, the coach doesn't need to play. He needs to game manage. He has to manage the game, which manages the time, the situation, what play is going to happen if he hits the foul shot, if he misses the foul shot. You should have all of this already talked about.
And they had a timeout remaining.
And they had 2 timeouts remaining.
2?
They had 2 timeouts remaining, and they had a timeout before the first foul shot. I know when I played basketball, whenever there was a timeout before foul shot, the coach would always drop 2 plays. This is what happens when we hit it. This is what happens when we miss it. I don't know if Tyronn Lue didn't do that, but
He's a great coach. He probably did.
Coach of the Year there, Ty Lue, he made those adjustments. But the fact that when he missed, JR went to get the rebound like he knew they were going to be losing. Like I don't know why you would have went for that rebound if you thought you were winning. My first instinct is, I'm up by a point, 5 seconds left, get back on defense. Why am I going to go for an offensive board? So that's why I don't believe I thought we were winning by 1. No, JR, you wanted the rebound. You wanted to go back for a 3. You wanted to do a fadeaway 3, hit the shot, and look LeBron in the face and go, this is my team now. Didn't work that way.
So embarrassing.
For me, the biggest point in that game was the charge blocking call. And when that happened, honestly, I was like, I don't think the Cavs can win at this point because all that momentum just went to shit.
Yeah, Kevin Durant. But then again, it's Kevin Durant. Like, you got to give him that call.
I don't know, man. When you review a play,
and you have 2 of the biggest stars in the NBA. These are the 2 biggest NBA stars of all time.
If you're gonna review a play, you have to get it right. And if you get it right, and then everyone in the media is still saying that wasn't the right call, like, come on, you fucked up.
Fair. I have to agree because it was one of those bang bang calls. Like, it was.
You have time to review it. You got to make the right call.
Yeah. You did
even the guy in Syracuse
in New York that was making.
He's like, yeah, that's a charge, and after. And then they're like, it's 100% a charge. And then the refs are like, block it.
Because
everyone's mind blown.
Because they went with the call on the floor. But
the call on the floor was originally.
Was it a charge?
It was a charge.
I thought it was a block, and they went and was inconclusive evidence.
They reviewed it as a charge because they're like, oh, first we need to make sure
he was out of the circle.
He's out of the circle. It is a charge, but he has to be out of the circle. So they saw that he's out of the circle, and then they're like, no, wait, this is a block because he's moving. And then the dude at Syracuse, he's like, no, he wasn't moving. His feet are set. His body's moving, but his feet are set. So they're like, that's a charge. And everyone's just like, mind blown.
Either way, it's going to be that all of the Cavaliers were going to be mind blowing, or all the Warriors were going to be mind blowing. I get it. It's a one call. It was a big call, but it was just one call. Like,
I don't know, man. For me,
1 point.
You just felt it, man. That one
It's
call.
true. It sucked the air out of the gym.
Yeah. And then the whole J.R. Smith play. To me, that was like almost equivalent to watching C-Web call the timeout.
Oh, man.
In college?
It was on that level. It was on that level.
No, it was higher than that level.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. Because for people that might not know the whole situation, Chris Webber in the Final Four, down by a point or 2 points, they called a timeout that they didn't have in the bank, which causes a technical foul. They lose possession. The other team gets the ball, takes a foul shot, and gets the ball back. So in that situation, that is the worst case scenario. I would still say J.R. Smith was worse, purely because as a player, I never know how many timeouts I have left. That is a coach's job to let me know what's going on. And actually, since that happened, they have changed it where players in college can't call timeouts. It has to come through the coaches. So they made something change about that. But that situation is a little bit different because J.R. Smith, there's no excuses. The score is everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't see timeouts on the box score. You know what I mean?
LeBron James knew how many timeouts were left.
He did.
The first thing he said when he came off that bench was, "Why didn't we use a timeout?
And
Where
Ty
was
Lue,
the timeout?"
Ty Lue, being an idiot, not really paying attention, didn't know to call the timeout. But that's why
Did
I
you see
think
the
it
video
was,
afterwards? And he asked again though.
Mhm.
and he
He's
asked,
like, "Did we have a timeout?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Fuck."
And
I felt like he was questioning himself there. You know, like
Yeah.
maybe we didn't have one.
It's
You know,
true.
getting
But
caught up in the
he
game.
was trying to call for the timeout.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is it because he doesn't have the ball that he can't? I don't know what the situation
I don't.
is.
Yeah, I guess you can. I don't know.
Because
That's a good
he was yelling at JR and the ref was there and he's like
That's true.
"Timeout."
No, that's true. Actually, I think you have to have possession to be calling timeout.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah.
because like when they're wrestling for the ball, someone on the other side of the floor can't just call timeout. You have to be possession. But it's the fact of it's 5 seconds. Like it's gone in in 5 seconds. Like you need to call timeout quick, J.R. Smith. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
Man, someone had to call timeout.
Someone should have called timeout. Someone should have did something. It was bad. But that was game 1. That was like the best and closest game. I think
this is what it reminded me of. It reminded me of when the Cavaliers beat the Raptors, because
What, that buzzer
that
beater?
single first game just took the wind out of the Cavaliers
does.
completely.
the
Yeah, it
same
set
way
the
they took
tone.
it's the same way they took the win out of the Raptors after
They
game
forgot
1.
who they were.
We were so close. We thought we had them, and then our dreams were devastated.
Overtime.
And then Cavaliers just did the same thing. They went to overtime, and they didn't even show up in overtime. They lost by like 8 or 9 points.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't even close. But that was the closest game of all 4 of the games. If you guys don't know, it was a 4-game sweep in the finals. Like, when has that ever happened? A 4-game sweep? Like, not often.
LeBron's first time to the finals
Against Dallas?
against the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, when he was with Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But still, doesn't matter. Getting swept as being quote unquote the second best team in the league is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Game 2, 3, and 4. I don't think any of the other games were even within single digits. I think the Cavaliers just got double-digit beat for the rest of the series.
I mean, they always started off pretty good, but that third quarter, like, I don't know what the Golden State Warriors do during halftime, but come out
It's
with, like,
it's
fire.
unbelievable their third quarter turnaround. I don't know if it's more or less their shots just get better because they have to warm up in the halftime or whatever the case may be. Whatever Steve Kerr says in the locker room, he should bottle it and sell it to all the coaches in the league because it is amazing. It works. But going forward, it is really good with the Warriors, how they as a team somewhat did better. It wasn't. Yes, it was mostly Kevin Durant. We can't get it twisted.
Yeah.
It was mostly Kevin Durant, but the other people did step up. There was one Jordan Bell. Jordan Bell, he never played too much minutes, but when he did get on the court, it was good things.
Yep.
Good things that happened. But moving on a little bit away from game 1, because I know we can talk that to the ground, I want to talk about the finals MVP. It went back to back with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Very good. I know, Meg, you're thinking it could have went to somebody else on the Warriors team.
I think I'm just surprised that Steph Curry got snubbed twice. Like,
It's not a snub.
I do think it was a snub, though.
When you think of the Golden State Warriors, the first name that comes to mind is usually Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
'cause he's
it-
there the
it is,
longest.
It
He's
is
the
Steph
face.
Curry.
Yes.
He's the face, but you have to be realistic, and the best player on that team was without a doubt Kevin Durant.
All season and playoffs.
But it's a playoffs. It's a finals MVP.
Yeah, it's just for the 4 games that those finals were
Yeah.
based on.
And
Mhm.
Stephen Curry never shows up in the finals.
Never. Remember I think it was game 3 that him and Clay for the first 3 quarters had between them 12 points.
Yeah, I think they were like 3 for something.
Yeah, 3
Like,
for 18
the
from
whole game or
yeah,
something.
it was absolutely garbage. To me, well, actually, talking about being snubbed, Steph Curry's been to 4 championships. He's won 3 of them, and he has never won a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
It went Andre Iguodala 1 year.
Yep.
and then
that
went
was the
Kevin
year
Durant during-
that it should have been to LeBron James.
even in the loss.
Even in the
I
loss, that was
completely
the year
disagree.
that he should have won Finals MVP.
I have to disagree with you as well there, Darren. I think if there was any year for him to win MVP, it was this year.
Why this year? In the playoffs, he did amazing in the playoffs, the whole playoffs run.
Yeah.
But he only played extremely well in the first game. After he injured his hand, he couldn't shoot anymore.
he still got 20. He
still
still
got
averaged 30.
triple-doubles.
Yeah, and he still averaged 30
Yeah.
points in the final. No, 40
But
points.
he was shooting like
10%.
20%
Yeah,
from the field.
Yeah.
It was all the layups that he was getting in.
Stop his layups.
But the first year that he played against the Warriors, he
He
had
did everything.
freaking Dellavedova
Yeah.
and Tristan Thompson. Those are his best players.
He had Kyrie.
No, he was injured that year.
Oh, yeah.
The
His
broken knee. Kevin
Yeah,
Love
in his
got
first
the
game.
dislocated shoulder.
Yeah.
That was the year he should have won the Finals MVP. Iguodala only won it because he had to
shut
play
him down.
defense all around.
And
And he didn't really shut him down. He still averaged 30 points and whatever.
but he
triple-double.
still shut him down. But it's still the triple-double that he got this year. But I think this year, Kevin Durant was the best Warrior to get it.
Yeah.
I think it should have went to LeBron James. If you removed Kevin Durant from the Warriors
Right.
these finals game, yeah, they probably might not have won the whole series. They wouldn't have got swept like the Cavaliers did.
Sure.
If you removed LeBron, the Cavaliers wouldn't even come to the gym. They would just be like, you know what, guys? LeBron's hurt. But let's just go home. Like, it's over. That's why
They
LeBron
would be
James...
starting Jetty Osman and Anthony Zizic.
That is why LeBron James didn't disclose his injury. He knew if he disclosed his injury,
Yeah.
it's over. Like,
Yeah.
might
Yeah,
as well
for
not
sure.
even show up to the gym. So that's why he had to keep it under wraps, because any indication that he wasn't 100%, his team would have packed it in.
And they're not going to respect a shot or anything like that either.
His team would have packed it in. Tyronn Lue would have been like, you know what, guys? Let's just forfeit. Let's just forfeit. LeBron's broken hand, but forfeit. So LeBron said, no, I know how important I am. I need to keep this under wraps.
Yeah, if I can't shoot, I can still pass.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to get it done other ways. And he got it done other ways. To me, that is what an MVP was and is. And that's why I think in the losing effort, if there was anyone to deserve an MVP in a losing effort, it would have been LeBron this year.
Man.
Next
As
question.
much as I like LeBron James, I still think Kevin Durant. And if it was not Kevin Durant, it was J.R. Smith.
Oh.
I
You know,
honestly...
I've been quiet, but I cannot listen to that.
I actually am a little bit saddened for J.R. Smith. Like, I'm actually feel a little bit bad for him. Purely because, yes, it was the biggest bonehead mistake in sports history. But come on now. Like, J.R. Smith is never
You know
going to
what?
let this down.
J.R. Smith, I hope wherever he ends up,
He's
it
gonna
is
stay in the Cavs.
it is cold, and he's gonna wear a shirt, so we never have to see that skinny little ass again. And he is going to hopefully do much better than
Hopefully.
Sans LeBron James.
Who's the most... Who impressed you the most in the finals?
Out of both teams or
Yeah,
any
out of
team?
both teams. Just somebody that surprised you.
The fact that now that it's come to light, LeBron James had a pretty much fractured hand, and he still averaged a triple-double, 30 points, like just a monster.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that, but like LeBron James, like I'm not really impressed by LeBron James because he does the immaculate every single time.
Yeah.
Other than that, no one really wowed me. Like Kevin Durant does what he does.
I'm impressed that someone gave Swaggy P a ring.
That as well. Swaggy P didn't shoot himself in the foot and not get a
No.
ring.
But he shot really well all season long.
did.
Yep.
Well,
he
okay.
Played, he played
He is-
surprisingly better than I thought he would.
When you are going from a team where you average like 25, 30 minutes a game to 7, 8 minutes, you don't get as many shots, and he's still a good shooter.
He
Like,
showed up when it
he's a
came
great
time.
shooter.
even in LA, he was a good shooter. He just was a volume shooter in LA. When you're a volume shooter, of course your percentage is going to be lower.
Yeah.
But now that he's only getting, 9 shots a game, if that, 6 or 7 of them are still going to go in.
Yeah,
So, Swaggy P, that doesn't surprise me. That's what I expected from him this year.
How about Rodney Hood?
Mm,
I thought he played really well in the minutes that they gave him.
that's
Because they
fair.
didn't even give him a chance until game 3.
I was going to say, and he didn't even play in the second or third round pretty
Yeah.
much at all.
No.
Yeah.
At all. So that the fact that he was still fresh and ready to go, I like that. I don't mind. Actually, another person that surprised me in the end, Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
He did work. Like, it's not easy, especially when you think as on your team, quote unquote, you're the tough guy, you're the
Yeah.
big mouth, to go up against Draymond Green every single day. Like, Draymond Green is the biggest mouth in the league, hands
Yeah.
down. No one's bigger than him. The fact that you have to try and show your toughness against Draymond Green, it's tiring. Like, how can you play a game and play the mental game that Draymond Green plays and still produce? Tristan Thompson still did a double-double every game and
Yeah.
had to put up with Draymond Green's crap.
Well, he can't have the Kardashians and Draymond Green beating him up, you know?
That's what he
One
had.
at a time.
That's
One
what
at
he
a
had to
time.
do, and he still performed. Maybe it wasn't like what he did, what was it, 2 playoffs ago when he
Yeah.
was like 2020 and he got that
Mhm.
stupid contract? It wasn't that good, but he still had off the court drama, like you alluded to
Yep.
with the Kardashians, on the court drama with Draymond Green and him getting kicked out in game 2 or 3, and probably LeBron James looking over his shoulder going, "What the hell are you doing, Tristan?"
Absolutely.
He still got double doubles. Like that's a lot of pressure to be putting on one man and still producing. So Tristan surprised me as well.
Last thing before we move on from this,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Clarkson.
Mhm.
Imagine if Derrick Rose had as much green light as Jordan Clarkson did.
Ooh.
Just saying. What that has to do with it? The reason why Derrick Rose didn't have that green light is because he's never shown he had a jump shot.
Come on,
Or
man.
he's
He
never
doesn't-
shown he had a jump shot.
Jordan Clarkson didn't show that he had a jump shot either.
Not as a Cavalier, but he did show it that he did have it in LA and in
Yeah.
college. Like Derrick Rose never had a jump shot in Memphis. Never. He was just dunking on people at 6'3", which was
But
crazy.
The thing with Jordan Clarkson is like they weren't even using him for the jump shot. They were just letting him do what he wants to do,
Mhm.
right? If Derrick Rose had that freedom,
Same with
he has some
Rodney
way
Hood when he
better
came.
basketball IQ than these guys.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
I just chalked it up to experience because he's been in the game, sitting on the sideline, mind you.
Yeah,
Watching.
healthy.
Like he's been
No.
sitting on the sideline watching for the last 3 years. So of course you're gonna have more IQ because you're not in the game.
Don't forget
Yeah, building up that knowledge.
Minnesota playoffs, first round.
Oh,
Played well.
he played. He did play well for Derrick Rose's standards.
Flashback Friday.
Yeah, tell me about it. But moving on, I know we talked the playoffs into the ground there. I know the finals wasn't as big as a exciting matchup as we thought it would be, especially with it being the 4th year in a row. Actually, before we move on there, I know there's been a lot of conversations of the NBA being broken, quote unquote broken, with the same 2 teams in the finals 4 years in a row.
Mhm.
Do you agree or disagree with that there, Dan, Meg?
I'll go first. I don't think it's broken. Like Golden State did a really good job in drafting the players, and they got the core from the draft, and they had room to sign max player. That's just how it worked out for them, and they did a great job at it. Like a lot of teams are kind of trying to do the same thing with Philadelphia. They are trying
Mhm.
to play by the draft as well too, but I mean the Warriors just drafted really well.
Yeah, they got lucky.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know if broken is necessarily the word I would use, but I definitely think that Golden State had a lot of utilities. They used them the proper way. I can't believe that there's so many super teams becoming a thing, but they seem to be ruling right now. I'm getting a little tired of watching it though, to be perfectly honest with you.
So am I. I don't like the matchup of Golden State Cleveland year in year out. It's kind of broken in that sense.
Yeah.
I like to weigh in that it is, if it's not broken, it's breaking. Because there's all these conversations of let's meet up here so we can take down the Warriors.
Right.
Sure.
Let's meet up here
Right.
so we can take down the Cavaliers. Let's meet up here so we can take down the Bostons. It's I like what you said. The Warriors were one of the last teams to do it through the draft. The last dynasty team to do it that way were the Spurs. The Heat in their dynasty didn't do that because they bought those 2
Mhm.
players. The Spurs and the Warriors were the only real team to do it through the draft. They drafted Tim Duncan. They drafted Tony. They drafted Manu. They drafted David Robinson as well before all of this happened. And Kawhi. So they did it that way as well. But recently, if it's not broken, it's breaking.
Mhm.
I think realistically what they have to do to fix this wrong is to shorten up the cap space, make it not have 3 or 4 max deals that they can sign, have it to 2 like they were in the back in the day, and get utility players. Like that's the only way to try and make it more fair across the board. Because even looking on the Raptors, where yes, we won first in the East, but looking in the 4 or 5 main teams, we're not really there. We're on the outside looking in
Right.
with the Warriors, the Rockets, Cavaliers, Celtics. Then I guess it's the Raptors and all the secondary teams. We still have like 3 max contract players on our roster. That's not really fair, and we're still on the outside looking in. Could you imagine if we had 2? We wouldn't even be anywhere.
Mhm.
So you have to make it fair across the board to do it, to make it a little bit more competitive. That's what I think. But moving on from the playoff talk there, let's talk about the Raptors a little bit more in depth here with their new recent coaching change, with the firing of Dwayne Casey last month and the search that they were putting on here right now. I know there was a lot of talk about who might be the new coach. We had a lot of internal people, representatives. We had Jerry Stackhouse, who was being looked at, Rex Kalamian, who's being looked at, Nick Nurse, who was being looked at. We had some people on the outside, Mike Budenholzer from the Hawks, before he got swept up real quick. We also did have one of the assistant coaches from the Spurs being looked at, and another coach from Lithuania. In the end, it did fall into us picking an internal person in Nick Nurse. I think that was more or less of a fact that we had to, because of all the other people we were looking at went elsewhere before we made a decision.
Right.
Like Jerry Stackhouse wasn't going to be sitting there waiting for us to make a decision. Like he had to do something. So I get that. But welcoming our new head coach, who was just introduced to the team here today as of June the 14th. Nick Nurse signed a 3-year, $10 million contract. Before we get into what we think he would do, 3 years. Generally, coaches get a 5-year contract and things of that nature.
Right.
3 years. Is that a short leash to see what he can do? Or do you think Masai believes that he can get it done within the 3 years?
I think it's a short leash.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, if this is the minimum I can give him, like that's the minimum I'm gonna give him, because
we don't know him. He's never head coached an NBA team. He has won 2 G League Coaches of the Years, at this time it was the D League, and he has 1 European Coaching of the Year as well. He has titles in both of those leagues, but nothing in the NBA.
Right.
How do you feel about this, there, Meg? I know you had one particular candidate that you were hoping was going to win it.
Yeah, I was definitely hoping that my boy Jerry Stackhouse was going to win. I'm very excited to see that he has actually left the Raptors organization
right.
to go with Memphis, was it?
Yep.
He's going to be assisting with Memphis. So
Derek
I'm very
Fizdale.
excited for him. Oh, God. I'm excited for him, but, I'm a little disappointed. I just don't think that Nick Nurse is going to be the right fit for us. And there's a couple of reasons why. And it's mostly because I feel like if anything needs work for the Raptors, it is our offense. And I don't know if someone who runs our offense is going to be the person to do that. That's what I felt like needed changing. And making him the head coach, I don't know if anything is really going to change.
Hey, that is very fair. We were always a defensive team. But then again, the changes he made this season opposed to last season did make us the first team in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right, though. I don't know if he would be the one to bring us over the edge, because to me, it's much of a sidestep. When Masai fired Dwayne, he said that we need a culture change. We need something to change inside. To make a change, would you go to the second guy in command?
No.
He's been doing it doing it Dwayne Casey's way for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So why would you go to somebody who is being mentored by someone above him to say, make a different change? So forget everything that you've been taught for the last 5 years and make it your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Doesn't work that way.
doesn't work that way.
So it's like you learn the best way the way that anybody does anything, it's from whoever taught them.
Yeah.
You always do what your parents do.
Mm-hmm.
You always do what your boss tells you to do. Dwayne was his boss for 5 years, telling him to do it this way. It's going to be hard for him to change it up over one season, especially with the short leash that he has of 3 years. It's going to take 1 year, 1 full year to change the culture. Second year to understand the new culture. Third year, you have to win the championship or you're not going to get a new contract. That's not really fair to Nick Nurse, I find. I think we're setting him up for failure.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Even to the extent where we needed somebody from the outside so badly that I wouldn't have even been happy if we had Stackhouse.
I would have liked it. Cause
I think we need that culture change, like you said, and I feel like we already know what we are, and we really needed somebody that is coming from a completely different perspective to come in and be like, look, this is what you guys need to do, and this is why you guys are not successful. But if you're within the organization, you're seeing what you guys are successful at, maybe you're not seeing your weaknesses.
Yeah, that's fair. It's easier to see your strength and to point out your own weaknesses. That's why I was actually interested in the I forget his name, Madonna from the Spurs assistant coach. Coming from a winning organization like that would only benefit a Raptors organization, especially with him being fairly young in the NBA coaching because he did really well overseas as well. I think he would have been a good fresh set of eyes.
What about the
Even
Van Gundys?
no, Van Gundy's too loud. He's too loud, and I don't see DeMar and Kyle responding to something like that. What I really would have, I don't know if I would have liked to see it, but I would have liked to see the experiment, I guess, with Becky Hammon as the head coach.
That would have been really cool.
A totally outside the box experience, totally outside the box interpretation of it, coming from a women's league where it's all fundamentals.
And it's a trailblazing move.
It puts us in the limelight. We would have a headline forever. She, if not the best WNBA player, she is top 5 of all time, like without a doubt. So it's the fact of, one, she has success in her playing career. 2, success coming from the Spurs organization, learning behind Pop. She won a summer league title. I get it. Summer league's garbage. Lonzo Ball won the MVP last year. Like, it means nothing. But any success is better than no success.
Absolutely.
Like, so I would have liked to see that because that's a totally fresh perspective in the NBA, which could benefit or could hurt.
Right.
I understand there are consequences with doing a move like that.
Yeah. Especially if you're one of the top teams in the East.
Already.
If you're willing to take a risk like that.
It is a humongous risk. I understand it, but we could have given her a 3-year contract and cut her after 2 years if it's not going bad. If it's going bad, have Nick Nurse. Because right now, with the signing of Nick Nurse, it feels to me that it's such an interim coaching decision. Whenever you fire your coach in the middle of the season, who's the next guy up? The assistant coach. Because it's the easiest transition without blowing up the whole team. So why do we have an interim coach for 3 years? That's what I don't get. We didn't make a change. It's an interim coaching.
But I don't think hiring Becky Hammon would have been as humongous of a
Culture change?
yeah. Like it
Yes.
definitely
Jason
is a huge culture change. But I feel like anyone we would have put in that position would have been a humongous culture change. Putting Nick Nurse in that position, it may not be a huge culture change. But that guy has been very much so on a leash for the past couple years. Now we're giving him free range. That's a culture change. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but I definitely think that it would have been amazing to have Becky Hammon in there. As a woman myself, I would have been very proud and
Me too.
to have Becky Hammon as
It would have
our
been
coach.
another notch in the Raptors belt.
Absolutely.
We would have been the first Canadian team. We would have been the first. Well, I guess Vancouver came in the same time as us, but the longest standing Canadian team,
Sure.
first female coach,
Yeah.
first Eastern Conference representatives in the semifinals a couple years ago from Canada. It would have been nice. It would have been a nice feather in the cap.
She deserves to find a job.
She does.
I hope she does.
I'm surprised she hasn't found a coaching job yet. That's
Yeah.
kind of surprising
Yeah,
to me.
I'm
All
very
the jobs
surprised.
are pretty open.
Gone, pretty much
yeah,
now.
there's nothing left.
No, all the Eastern Conference coaches have been signed up with Dwayne going to Detroit, who was the last one in the hunt for it.
Yeah, time to step up, guys. Time to
Open
look
doors.
into the future and hire that lady.
Yeah, she's gonna be good.
You guys might be surprised what she might do for you.
What do you think about Brian Colangelo? He got fired.
True. That was kind of out of left field.
I was very surprised, actually.
Well, sorry, we have to amend that. He didn't get fired. He resigned
In
by
quotes.
recommendation.
The burner accounts.
In,
Yeah.
in the
It
biggest
was-
quotes.
It was quote unquote. He resigned by force recommendation.
Sure.
For you guys that might not know the story, there's been rumors that Brian Colangelo's wife was making burner Twitter accounts and throwing out secrets about players, drafts, things of that nature.
And also throwing shade at their own players.
Yeah, especially Joel Embiid. I heard
I
a
think
lot
that's
of shit.
his-
hysterical.
Markelle
Fultz as
Yeah.
well. A lot of the new nucleus players as well.
I strive to be everything that lady is, you know.
Honestly, I don't know if you should. I don't know.
I
if
think
that-
that's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious, but it's the fact of Brian Colangelo very openly threw her under the bus. Like, it was pretty evident by the statements that he was making. It was just like, I had no recollection of my wife doing this. This was all on her. Like, this is her.
Yeah.
And
That's not her fault that he threw her under the bus.
No,
he
it's-
chose to make that decision.
It's true, but it's the fact of, like, you're with a man that just totally threw you under. I get it.
Yeah, so
she
he's
threw
the
herself.
piece of crap.
she threw herself under the bus by getting caught. Or, well, one, for even doing this. I don't know why the hell you would do this. What kind of bonus were you getting? Like,
Inspired by Kevin Durant.
so I don't understand. Like, Brian Colangelo, I've always had a salty taste in my mouth after what he did with the Raptors and drafting
Yeah.
Bargnani first overall.
Oh
Trading
man.
for Rudy Gay.
R.I.P.
Jermaine O'Neal experiment. Like
R.I.P.
he put our team, our franchise back 5 years. Easily. That one man.
Yeah.
But so I was kind of salty with Colangelo, so I don't really care about him that
So
much.
maybe Drake paid her off. Out here looking for revenge.
I don't know. But like honestly, I don't really care about him. Like whatever.
So
It's
Brett
fine.
Brown is the interim GM now.
Yes.
He's
President or whatever.
the coach. He's like the basketball operations guy now. Interim. I don't see it being a difference.
I don't know, man. I think as much as credit I gave him throughout the season, that loss that they had against Boston, like I feel like he lost. He lost
Why?
the series for them
Why?
because it was just terrible coaching. Like,
For Brett Brown?
yeah, from Brett Brown.
There's only
it's
so
like-
much you can do with that roster, though. The
I don't know,
Boston,
man.
Boston was they were better coached.
But you got to control your team. Like, if your team's not doing something, like call a timeout
Change
and
it, yeah.
change it up. Like,
Boston
you
was
don't wait
better
till they come
coached.
back 20 points, then be like, oh, maybe
should
I
change
should
it.
change something. Right?
Boston was better coached, though. I don't blame Brett Brown. I give more credit to Brad Stevens. Before bringing down Brett Brown, I build up Brad Stevens. He was the better coach. And that happens. You get out coached. Talk to Dwayne Casey. He got out coached when we got swept by the Cavaliers.
Coached by Ty Lue?
Okay, maybe not out.
Yeah. No. Sorry.
Outcoached by LeBron.
Out-coached
Yeah.
by LeBron
Yeah,
James
that's
because
fair.
Ty Lue is the only head coach in the NBA that is getting paid
To do
as
that.
a head coach, but is actually doing the position of an
assistant.
assistant.
It's true.
It's
It is
incredible.
true. It
It's
is.
truly
It is.
incredible.
It is not a dictatorship, which most teams are supposed to be. It is literally a democracy by LeBron. Like
Yes.
LeBron has 51% of the vote, and everyone else has 49. That's all it is. So,
It's incredible.
but so now I know that we talked a lot about the coaching with Nick Nurse. I don't know if he's going to last all 3 years even. Let's go to the main thing that we're going to talk about this offseason. Player movements. Yet again, if any of you guys remember, I think it was 7 years ago, last LeBron James offseason. It's 8 years ago?
Yeah.
It is another season of LeBron. This is LeBron James offseason 2.0. Where is he going to take his talents to? A lot of people say he's going to take his talents out to La La Land and the Lakers. Some, I would have to say, Toronto-based sports writers were saying that he might come to Toronto and make it actually LeBronto full-time. There's been a lot of rumors. Like I've heard even like Memphis was being talked about. Like rando teams.
There's rumors saying that he's gonna meet up with the Warriors. He's gonna meet up
No,
with the
I'm
Celtics.
gonna shut down the Warriors talk right now. Like that's not gonna happen.
I can see him meeting up with them, just to
Just take a
just
meeting?
see what just to see what they say. Maybe he can even steal some inside
Yeah,
information, right?
why
LeBron
not?
is not going to meet up with Toronto.
I can see him meeting with Toronto.
Maybe with Toronto.
if we
'cause
have money-
he's tight with Drake. He's tight with Drake.
That is not a
And
good
LeBron
enough
likes the
reason.
city. Like it's a nice
Yeah, he
city.
likes the city.
He's here every
There's
now and then.
money
He's
here.
came to OVO.
He can start businesses
He comes
here.
to
And he's come to
he
Caravana.
comes to Caravana.
Yeah,
almost
he's-
every
he's
single
here.
year.
Yeah.
I understand that Toronto is a great place to
It's
spend
a
like
city.
a week,
But
couple
here-
of days.
LeBron is not just a basketball. He's a business mogul. There's opportunities
There's
in Toronto.
opportunities.
Guys, you guys are being
Vince Carter
so
paved the way.
unrealistic.
I know we're talking.
Yeah,
as
he's
Raptor
gonna
fans.
appear.
Yes.
The Greek Freak's gonna end up here. Everyone's gonna end up here, and
Why not?
and then we're gonna have our own super team, guys.
Yeah,
Can you believe
yeah.
it?
Why not go to Milwaukee with the Greek Freak? Could you imagine LeBron and Giannis? That would be sick.
That's I don't know, man. That's
That'd be
crazy.
sick. There'd be no 3-point shooting. Everything would be in the paint.
I would
Everything
love
would be
to
the
see
same.
LeBron in Toronto. I think there's a chance, but out of the
No.
teams that do have a chance, Toronto's probably
Fifth.
like
Like
5%
Yeah.
compared
Fair.
to the other ones that have like 20% chance or 15% chance.
I think the Lakers have like a 90% chance.
Yeah, almost a 95%
Man.
chance.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'm the only one that thinks there's no way in hell he's going to the LA.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
No way in hell.
Why?
Because I don't think because first of all, he's going to the team where like we just shed all the players too.
Sure.
Or
yeah.
is it just IT? I think it's just IT.
No, IT and there's another person that went there as well. I forget.
Yeah, either way, he's gonna go join there. They're all like young players as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
mean,
what he needs.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that Brandon Ingram's pretty solid.
Kuzma.
Julius Randle's pretty solid. Kyle Kuzma. I don't believe in
Lonzo?
Lonzo.
Fair.
And then IT needs to go as well too.
Oh, IT's gone.
So
IT's got to be gone.
Lonzo and
Mhm.
IT have to go. And then you have to pull another superstar to get there as well too. And then you're getting coached by Luke Walton, who's gonna also take orders from LeBron.
Yeah, I was gonna say if LeBron goes
Absolutely.
there, you don't need a coach. Like
Yeah.
you don't need a coach. You could be Luke Walton. But if that does happen, and you said you did allude to it, another star, Paul George. PG is going to.
But
I understand that you think that LeBron might not go to the Lakers. I
Yeah.
think it's more in the bag. Paul George is going to the Lakers 100%. Like
Yeah.
that's
Sure,
done.
sure.
Like jerseys should be getting printed right now.
Yeah.
House has been bought.
But why not LeBron? LeBron James's kid, who's in high school, who's getting a little bit.
Yeah, he just committed to
to
LA
LA
school.
high school to play
Yeah.
with Scottie Pippen
That swayed me a
It's
little
a little
bit.
sketchy.
and Kenyon Martin's sons. They're making their own super team in high school
yeah.
already.
Yep.
So why can't his papa make a third super team out in Los Angeles with his
Because
kids?
I still feel like it's not strong enough with just him and PG. Like Julius
Yes,
Randle
yes.
has to evolve into the All-Star player
He can be Draymond Green.
in one season.
He can be Draymond
He
Green.
needs to be better than Draymond Green.
Nah, he can be exactly what Draymond Green's doing, and they would have a team. Look at LeBron James. He can do what Kevin Durant does. Paul George. Okay, he's not shooting like Steph and Clay, but like he does other things better than Steph and Clay. Julius Randle, he can become Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Like you said, Brandon Ingram can be a little bit Kevin Durant, a little bit Klay Thompson. Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball can play like Sean Livingston, come on, Sean Livingston. You have the Warriors reincarnated in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
guys,
know,
they are not the only team in
No.
Los Angeles.
That's true.
We are completely forgetting about a whole
But-
other lineup.
DeAndre Jordan's leaving.
Is he though?
He's going to the Rockets. Or he wants to at least.
Yeah. That's a lot of. Everyone wants to go somewhere. Like I want
Is
to
there
go
a chance
somewhere.
that he could end up then with the Clippers?
If LeBron signs to the Clippers, do you think DeAndre Jordan's gonna be wanting to leave that fast?
If he goes to the Clippers, who do they got? They got DeAndre and they have
Sweet
Lou
Lou.
Williams.
Yeah, sweet Lou.
He's a 6-man.
Yeah.
LeBron only needs six
The
man.
sixth man.
J.R. Smith is a 6-man, quote unquote.
He's
who
a starter.
starts. He should be a 6-man. Doesn't matter where he goes. He should be a 6-man.
Yeah.
LeBron James just needs shooters. Okay, I know we're talking a lot about like, oh, what pieces are going to be. LeBron James makes pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Think of it before.
Okay, so I agree with you that he does need shooters, but at the same time, I think the reason why the Cleveland Cavaliers don't work is because they're too stagnant on offense.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
waiting for him to get the ball, and
Right.
that's making it so hard on him.
Mm-hmm.
If you have one extra guy that can shoot and slash, and just create movement in the offense, that's where I think you're gonna get your bread and butter with LeBron.
But then, and I think the reason why they feel stagnant is because all of these so-called shooters on Cavaliers are converted shooters. The only pure shooter is Kyle Korver. Is the only pure shooter. J.R. Smith, yeah, he has a nice shot, but he back in the Knicks days, he was slashing. He was getting to
Yes.
the rim. He wasn't a shoot 'em up shooter like Kyle Korver is.
Is that a coaching thing or is that LeBron?
I think that is necessity. It's what you need with LeBron. So they converted him from being a slasher to a shooter, which is not. It is his game, but
you
it's
need to be
not
an
his game.
off-ball slasher.
Exactly. You need someone to be coming off screens like Korver. Rip Hamilton used to do it all the time. Even Kyrie Irving was coming off screens and popping up for shots. You need a purebred shooter on LeBron James's team where you don't have it right now. Like going down the lineup, J.R. Smith. Korver is the only exception. Clarkson, not a shooter. Ronnie Hood, not a shooter. Kevin Love, I guess, but he's 7'1". He should not be shooting. Everyone else are not purebred shooters around him on that organization. So that's why Tyronn Lue goes, okay, we're going to do a space and LeBron create. Okay, coach, well, I've never done that before. Okay, you just stand here, JR. When you get it, you throw it to the rim. That's not my game, though, coach. But it is now because you're with LeBron.
So LeBron has mentioned that he doesn't want to be a ball handler
Anymore.
in the next portion of his career. He
Fair.
wants to play off the ball. So putting him into that situation, does that seem like a good fit in LA then? Because if you put him in LA, he's still gonna need to be a ball handler.
Not if they keep Lonzo. But, LeBron has played with worse point guards. He's played with worse point guards. Mario goddamn Chalmers has 2 rings because of LeBron. Mario is not a nice point guard. I would rather have Lonzo than Mario. He got him there. He got championships. Did he not?
Mario Chalmers can hit free throws.
Mario, fair. And Mario Chalmers was a shooter. He was a
Yes.
purebred shooter. Lonzo's not. Like, I think he can do it. Like, honestly, no matter what, you go get a good young rookie, you'll be fine.
So what about the Rockets? That was the big thing that everyone's been talking about, that LeBron James may join the Rockets. And on a team like that, he doesn't need to be a ball handler.
No, because you have Chris Paul and James
He
Harden.
can be a crazy Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, way better Trevor Ariza.
Yeah, way better.
I don't mind that fit if it is contractually possible, because Chris Paul is getting a max deal, James Harden's getting a max deal. I know Trevor Ariza is going to probably take veteran minimum if he's still on the team, but
He wants to go to the Warriors.
does he?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I know but nobody's gonna call him soft because he's just a scrub.
Yeah, it's true. But it's the fact that the Rockets would be a good fit. Then the league is broken if that's the case. If he does go there, it's broken because that's what 4 super teams in about.
Well, the Warriors have a starting lineup in their bench.
That's true. They do. They really do. If you can imagine, but why can't LeBron go to Philly? I know Ben Simmons is really good. He is a growing, skilled player. He would
That
sort
is
of
one of the top
clash.
destinations.
It is. He would sort of clash with LeBron because they play very, very similar. They train with each other the same way as well. I like it. I think it would be fit in Philly if possible.
It's definitely a better fit than the Rockets. I don't see that as a good fit at all. I honestly don't think that they would get along. I see there's
Too many egos?
way too many egos. Those guys from Clint Capella to James
budding star
Harden.
now.
I just can't even imagine. LeBron being there. That would just ruin the whole mojo
You know what I
of
like
the
about
team.
Philly too, is that those young guys there want him there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Embiid wants him there. Ben wants him there.
It's fair. That's like the one only
They
team
would
that wants
worship
And
the
he's got-
ground he walks
He's
on.
got legit shooters there too. He's
Yeah.
got Bellinelli. He's got JJ Redick.
TJ
Yeah.
McCollum,
You got Rocco. Like Rocco's
Covington.
great for defense. He's gonna be your 3-and-D guy.
Yeah, you got Covington as well. I would also like to see LeBron go pretty
Got
much
Markelle
anywhere.
Fultz.
So Markelle Fultz.
Yo,
If
don't sleep
not-
on him.
If not LeBron to the Rockets, why not Kawhi to the Rockets? I know he's recently come out and said that he doesn't want to leave the Spurs.
Yeah.
I think he does want to leave the Spurs, but he's just trying to be the high road guy. Why can't Kawhi go to the Rockets? Not as big as an ego as LeBron. Doesn't need the ball as much as LeBron. I feel like if LeBron goes to the Rockets, it would be a lot like what the Lakers happened when they made their experiment with Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Carmelo.
The thing with
Not
Kawhi
enough
though
ball.
is that Kawhi's on contract. So if he goes somewhere, it has to be a trade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think the Rockets are willing to give up that
What they
much
need.
for
Mhm.
Kawhi.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Greg Popovich said he's going to try to force his way into talking to LeBron James this summer as well, too. This would be the first time that LeBron would have a legit coach in his career.
Mhm.
That's true.
I don't know if Popovich is gonna have a lot to say. I've heard a lot of weird retirement rumors coming around from that guy. So to hear that he has plans for the next year,
He said he'll be done in 2020. Like, he won't coach
Gotcha.
past 2020.
That's fair. Honestly, but if Popovich is calling any player in the NBA that's a free agent, you have to answer the call. You're going
Yeah.
to San Antonio. You're just even just to take in a little bit of the basketball knowledge that this guy has.
absolutely.
You got to take the call.
And one of the things there was that Kawhi was not happy that they aren't able to draw star
Mhm.
power.
But that's what it is. It's because I don't think it's the fact that they weren't able to draw star power. Popovich doesn't believe in drawing star power.
Right.
He knows. But then again, I don't fault him for this. He creates star power.
True.
Why do I have to go and buy star?
True.
Kawhi Leonard in pretty much any other organization would have been garbage. Corey Joseph, if he never started with
Yeah.
San Antonio, he would probably be garbage. Look at him
Yeah.
in the Pacers. He's doing well in the Pacers. Don't get me wrong, but he's going a lot back to what he learned in San Antonio.
Yes, he learned a lot from TP.
A lot from Tony Parker. Tony Parker even. Like Manu Ginobili's been playing and he still wants to play for another 3-4 years. He's almost 40 years
He
old.
has to retire if LeBron's joining.
No, why not? He can play his 8 minutes a game and be coasting until he's 45. Like Manu Ginobili played pretty much a full career in
He'll be
Europe.
good for locker room for sure, though.
But so like that's what I mean. He makes star power. Tim Duncan was like the definition of a blue collared hard worker.
Yeah.
Popovich made him into a super mega star. There's a lot of these hard workers. Like JV is a hard worker, blue collar, brings his lunch bag to the office, doesn't get injured too much. Why is he not Tim Duncan? He has all the same skill sets as Tim Duncan, but he just doesn't have the guidance that Popovich can give him. If LeBron, who has guidance for the players on the court, Popovich can give guidance for like the mental and the thinking of it, that team just terrifies me, those two guys alone. Like, and Popovich doesn't even touch a basketball, and I would be terrified with those two guys on the court together. So,
At least they have LaMarcus Aldridge.
oh my God, I forgot about LaMarcus Aldridge.
Gasol.
They got squad. They got that new point guard Murray, who was actually balling out with Tony Parker
They
coming
still
off the
have
bench.
Patty Mills.
Man, no, LeBron, go to
They
San
got
Antonio.
Rudy Gay off
Okay,
the
no,
bench.
okay, Rudy Gay would get cut.
Rudy
Oh,
Gay's
man.
Yeah, he would get cut. He would get cut. Like,
R.I.P.
even if like you had contract, you have to pay him $5 million. If you just cut him, just cut his ass. If you get LeBron, just cut him.
Wave him.
So no, they have a roster. Granted, like 4 out of those 6 names we said were over the age of 35. Like
Yeah, I
Paul
was gonna
Gasol's
say
old,
close to retiring.
Tony Parker's old, Manu Ginobili's old.
And I still firmly believe that if Kawhi was there, they would have took out the Warriors in the first round.
Yeah. Like, even if Kawhi and LeBron, even though I know they play similar positions, LeBron James has been playing a 4 pretty much the whole season anyways, right? You know what I mean? So, it doesn't surprise me, especially with the league going small ball. LaMarcus at 5, LeBron at 4, Kawhi at 3, put 2 scrubs out there, like Tony and Manu, like who are not scrubs.
Whoa.
You would have a squad.
Yeah.
You would have a squad. So, Spurs, why not?
That's a dirty team.
Why
I
not?
like it. I like it.
Man, you called Tony Parker a scrub. Oh,
I only
man.
say that
I'm
because he is like
mind-blown.
34 years old.
Worst teammate ever, too.
Oh, God.
Why? Why would you say that?
That whole incident with Eva Longoria and stuff.
Oh, well, that's not being a bad teammate. That's just being a bad man.
Yeah, you bad husband.
So I don't know. I think I like it. Popovich at the helm for 2 years. Why not make another run with Popovich as your coach for those 2 years? If he's going to retire 2020, Popovich can do it.
I think
Be
that's a
good.
fun team.
So I know we had a couple hot takes that we wanted to quickly run about and see what our reaction to some of these things are, as well as, of course, our fans of the Raptors Den reaction to some of these takes. Definitely leave a comment below if you have anything that you hear that you wanted to put your 2 cents on. But I'll let you take it away there, Dan, with one of these hot quotes.
So, first thing here is the whole thing surrounding whether this sweep affects LeBron James' legacy. What are your thoughts on that?
Getting swept in a finals does hurt your legacy. It really does, especially
But
when you
what's-
go to 6 finals. What was it? 6 finals and you only won 3?
He's been to 8 finals.
8 finals.
He's lost 6 finals.
That's
now.
what it is. Yeah.
And won 3.
So it's the
That's
fact
9
of
finals.
no,
Yeah,
he's been
it is
to
9
8
finals. 8 straight and 1 before.
and 1 in the Cavs before. So yeah, so going to 9 finals in your career and only winning 3,
But that's crazy. 9 finals, dude.
Mm-hmm.
but only winning 3.
That's a decade of Eastern players not getting into the
Yeah.
finals.
But it does hurt your legacy a little bit with the comparison with Michael, who's been to 6 finals, 6 championships.
But you can say that LeBron got swept twice in the finals.
Yeah.
Michael got swept twice
Twice
in the first round.
LeBron's never lost a first round in the NBA playoffs ever in his
Yes.
15 years career, and he's been to the finals every single year, I think, except
The first 3 years. Or first 2.
I was gonna say
Definitely
2.
the first 2.
I thought he went as a rookie, but then he missed the second year because I remember.
He didn't go in the rookie year.
No, okay, yeah, that's right. He missed the rookie year. Second year, he got Shaq on the Cavs, and that's when they made the run.
I don't think he made it to the finals. Or
Not to the
playoffs in
finals, but they made it to
second
the
round either.
playoffs.
No.
No?
No.
Damn. But then again, okay, so LeBron James has never been swept in the first round. He's never lost a first round. So that helps his credit. The fact that he leads in almost every playoff stat, he has
Yeah.
the most points, most double doubles, most everything, helps his legacy. I think the only thing that hurts, especially with this most recent sweep in his legacy, is the closingness, like the clutch factor, the killer instinct that Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan has made famous.
Right.
The killer mentality. LeBron doesn't really have that. You can't really say that he has ever had that. I don't know. I don't think it hurts his career or his legacy. I don't know, Meg, if you wanted to weigh in on that quickly.
don't know. I think it definitely hurts his legacy. I think that looks bad. Like we got swept. And when I say we, I mean the Raptors.
Yep.
We got swept by a guy who got swept.
Yeah.
But my defense to that is if we faced the Warriors, we would have got swept. Like
Yeah, I think anybody would have
Except-
by the Warriors.
except pretty much Western Coast teams, West Conference teams would not have got swept.
And to be fair, like nobody thought the Cavaliers were making it. Like that is a miracle in itself.
That is very true. LeBron James literally deserves the MVP. He literally carried that team.
That's crazy.
All right,
Too
next thing.
much.
Biggest trade of the offseason,
Mhm.
Ben Simmons and Blake Griffin. They trade girlfriends. Tinashe and Kendall Jenner.
True.
Wait. I know Blake Griffin's dating that bikini model now. But is that who Ben Simmons was dating before?
No.
Ben Simmons was dating Tinashe,
hmm
and now Blake Griffin is with Tinashe.
Oh.
So what happened was, as your
Resident pop
Yes,
culture
yes.
guru.
Yeah.
Fill us in.
call me Meg Hilton. So basically, what happened was Blake Griffin and Kendall Jenner were together, and they broke up right before the playoffs because Blake Griffin wanted to focus on his potential run, and then last
Especially-
week Ben Simmons hooked up with Kendall Jenner and cheated on poor Carucci, and then she went running back to Blake Griffin just to kind of stir the pot a little. So
Yeah.
I think that's a little crazy. I don't know what these girls are getting themselves into.
And then this, especially earlier in the season when we talked about Blake Griffin's issue with his
yeah,
baby
Yes.
mama.
Yes.
his real wife.
Yes, that's awful.
I think
That's
it's
so
I think it's
whack.
quite funny. I think Ben Simmons and Kendall would be a little bit better of a match because they're closer in age. Because like Blake Griffin's
Sure.
not old, but he's
Mhm.
older. And the fact that Blake Griffin moved halfway across the country from LA, where Kendall is, to Detroit, where that's just no one goes to Detroit. They don't have fresh water in Detroit,
Oh my gosh.
which is sad. But like, I don't know. It's to me, I think it's so soft. So I don't care.
It's also petty.
That's the word. It's petty. It's just I
So
don't care.
petty.
Good for them though. Keep themselves interested.
I'm a huge
Here's the
fan.
next one. This is a quote from Tom Brady.
Yes.
If the NBA isn't rigging the finals, they should at least investigate these refs for taking bribes or gambling. How many favorable calls are going to coincidentally go to the Warriors' way in crucial games? Trust me, I've been investigated for less.
Oh, no.
Hashtag amen.
Hashtag Team Tom Brady.
Like, I don't know. That's pretty spot on. I don't know if you can
Very true.
say yes, it would be the Warriors as a team, but a lot of coincidental calls go to LeBron James. Like
Absolutely.
to singularly LeBron James, not the Cavaliers. Don't get me wrong. To LeBron James, where a lot of these bullshit calls were going to the Warriors as a whole. Tom Brady has it right. He's been investigated for a hell of a lot less.
Jeremy Lin quote, as objectively as I can be, the Warriors are probably still the better team, but the refs are definitely helping them.
Also fair. Also spot on.
Go back to being injured.
I like this old school quote from Rihanna.
I like
This is from last year. I just bring it up because I love this quote.
Last year,
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Winning a championship after joining a 73-win team is like losing your virginity to a hooker.
Who said that?
Rihanna.
Oh my
I
god.
can see her saying that too. It's
How did I miss that?
that
This
is
was last year.
rude.
I love it.
It is pretty spot on though. Kevin Durant had to go to arguably the best team in the entire world to win the championship.
Yeah, and hold on.
Oh, she's so petty.
Savage.
I can't remember what I was gonna say, but okay. So here's a quote from
That's
Kevin
sad.
Durant. I feel like it's easy to be the best player when you don't have good players around you. I feel like it's harder to stand out when you have great players around you. On this is on
Whoa.
him getting the MVP.
Fair. That's pretty fair because like no, that's right. If your team has 4 All-Stars and you have been dubbed the best All-Star on your All-Star team, that's pretty good. Like hands down, LeBron James is the best player on the Cavs because no one else on the Cavs is even good. So I understand what he meant, but like Kevin Durant, that's kind of false because on your Oklahoma City team, you had 3 All-Stars pretty much 4 All-Stars if you count Ibaka.
Absolutely.
And you were still heads and shoulders better than them, but you couldn't bring your team to the finals and win. To me, that's where that quote falls off. Because, you were the best. You were always deemed the best.
Mm-hmm.
But when you were the best, you couldn't do it without Steph, Clay, and Dre. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so this is not even a quote, it's just something funny. This one guy had an idea. Serious question. Why can't 4 Warriors start locked arms and form a ring around Steph Curry so he can take open shots?
And there's a picture of 4 guys literally like doing a football huddle around Steph, and he's just jumping up and shooting threes. It's one of those things that, it could work. No matter what, like, Steph Curry is the best 3-point shooter of all time. I say that hands down, not even a question. He will never shoot 100%. Physically impossible. You will never shoot 100% of the shots you take. It's impossible.
But we've seen him hit like 70 in a row.
Yeah.
If he has an open shot with no contest because his team is surrounding him.
But there would be some sort of contest. You put 3 guys there, you put 2 guys for the board, there would be a contest. It doesn't work. So I like the idea. I don't know. It's like saying the same thing in football. Why don't you give the ball to a guy, have a circle of guys around him, and you just run down the field. It can work, but it wouldn't work.
But you can get tackled. That's the thing. In basketball,
you can't touch him.
You can't touch him.
Oh man, should we make him a human stepladder to the net too?
Yeah, that's actually. Could you?
I think that's technical though.
You can't like put your hands down and put one foot and like launch a guy to the dunk.
Yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Like in Space Jam.
I've seen that in high school games.
Like in Space Jam.
Really? That's a technical. I've never seen.
Yeah, I saw a guy get down on his hands and knees. He gets down on his back, and the kid
he
can't
steps
dunk.
on it.
Yeah, he steps on him to jump the ball.
They give him a technical.
You got a tech.
That's weird.
That's hysterical.
That's weird. But I don't know. I think that's just silly. We got to post that picture up there. That picture of them huddling around Steph. That's pretty funny.
Here's one by Shannon Sharp, who's
I hate
avid
Shannon Sharp.
LeBron lover.
Yeah, I hate Shannon Sharp.
Not Magic, not Jordan, not Larry, not even Kevin Durant, not Steph Curry. Even in the East, no one in the history of the game other than LeBron James could have gotten this team to the finals.
Granted, yes, 100%. Shannon Sharp, I hate you, but that was a good quote. No matter what. Like, nobody could have done what LeBron James did, granted, with even a broken hand. Like, no way. This team was a pack of scrubs. Absolute scrubs.
Dan Gilbert believes he can win an NBA championship without LeBron James on the Cavs.
He said that before.
Yes, he has.
And he
said it again.
He said that before. And how many?
LeBron left the
first time, yeah. Dan Gilbert, how many playoffs have you seen without LeBron James? I can tell you right now, 0. Before he came, 0. When he came, you had good experiences with him when he there the first stint. He left 4 years of absolute trash. You had 3 number 1 overall picks and absolute trash them all.
And that was
Except
over
Kyrie.
4 years.
Yeah.
3 number 1s over 4 years.
Yes. And you didn't make playoffs once. And you had Kyrie Irving as one of them. Yes, you had a terrible pick with Anthony Bennett. Shit happens. You had a good pick with Andrew Wiggins that you traded for absolute shit.
Yeah.
Like, you're garbage.
You had Waiters, you had Tristan Thompson. They did exactly what the Warriors didn't do.
Yeah, it's garbage. So, Dan Gilbert, no, you cannot win a championship without LeBron James unless you get a new LeBron James. Sooner or later, someone else is going to come up who's going to be... It's the same way with Michael Jordan. Everyone's like, oh, no one's going to beat Michael. Kobe came. Oh, crap, we have 2 guys. No one can beat Kobe.
Nobody said Kobe was the Michael beater. Because Kobe was always the next person to be like Michael.
Yeah.
That's why LeBron James, when you talk about LeBron James, everyone talks to LeBron James as being the guy to knock Michael Jordan off the pole.
Yeah.
So that's why I think Kobe can never be in that discussion for greatest
anymore
of all time because he's imitation.
That's fair. LeBron James Jr. is coming in.
That's what I was about to say.
And he is balling.
The remix.
He's balling out control.
He's already better than LeBron James.
He really okay. We can't really say that because have you seen? Did you see any of LeBron James's St. Vincent High School like tapes?
Televised games? Yeah.
Oh my God, he was unbelievable.
He was unbelievable. It looked like he was a Michael Jordan against the people he was playing back then. But
that's what I mean.
Those guys didn't know how to play the game.
So that's what I mean. It's like LeBron James Jr. Yeah, he's looking nice. his father looked equally as nice in high school. But then again, granted, LeBron James Jr. is only in grade, like he's going into grade 9 now.
Yeah,
like
he's
he's not
only
even in
13.
high school yet. So his ceiling is high, like high.
I like the kid.
Yeah,
man.
I'll be waiting.
Knock on wood, no injuries. Hopefully he can just do it right. Like I don't know, like why not? Like I'm surprised you haven't had this quote there that LeBron James is wanting to play on the same team as LeBron James Jr. in the NBA.
No way.
It is
He wants to.
possible
He wants to.
because LeBron James right now is only 34 years old. If LeBron James
5
Jr.
years.
if Junior comes up and it would be more like 6 or 7 though, because there's no high school. You have to do at least 1 year. They're even looking
If
about
they
doing
change it, though.
if they change it. But if he comes at 19 years like Ben Simmons did,
Yeah.
LeBron would be 39 going on 40.
But he can still.
LeBron James has only got better. Like he's only gotten better, and like he's 34 now. He's only getting better.
Yeah.
So he'd be going on 40. It is possible. I'm not expecting LeBron James to be averaging 42 minutes
Yeah,
a game
no, I
like
don't
he
think
is right
any-
now.
I don't even think he's expecting to be like superstar caliber
Yeah.
at that time. Like he'll be like Vince
Vince Car-
Carter.
Took the words out my mouth. I love it. I love it.
They
There.
just want to get
And
that photo, that
Yeah, he just
evidence
wants
that
to
it
be-
happened, and
Like even
call
if
it
he's
a
not
day.
playing on the same team, I think he just wants to at least be on the
No,
same
he wants to be on the same
court.
team.
Yeah, no, I
No, he
think,
wants to be on the
Oh,
same
I would definitely want to.
No,
be,
he'll be on the same team.
But even if you played against your son, that would be the first time anything that
It's the
like that has ever
Griffies.
happened.
It's happened once in another sport that I can think of off the top
Yeah.
of my head in
Baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey
But baseball,
Sr.
you could play
Exactly. That's what it is.
You
His
can play till
father,
you're 60.
Ken
Yeah.
Griffey, and you can come right when you're like 17, 18 into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
major leagues if you're good enough.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr. was like 19 when he started. His father was like 40 something. They played together on the Mariners. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. If anyone is going to be able to do it, it's LeBron James. Like he has only gotten better in his 15 years of basketball.
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't he play 20? Kobe played 20 years. Why can't LeBron? Oh, why not?
All right. Last two things. One, I just wanted to also point out the Warriors winning their championship. Did you guys? Is it just me, or did you guys feel like their happiness was really forced?
Oh, it was super forced. Steph Curry's face during that whole thing. You could
Great
tell
too.
he just wanted to get out of there, which
Yeah.
is crazy to me. I'm not entirely sure
You did it last year.
why.
You know why? It's because if they were expected to win, it was,
Yeah.
Right.
it's given to them, right? They
Mhm.
didn't earn their win,
Yeah.
and they were happier beating the Rockets than they were beating the Cavaliers.
Because it was
Right.
expected.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. I'm really happy that they didn't get to enjoy their NBA Finals win.
But to that extent,
Oh, man.
I have to agree. It didn't look like Steph, Clay, Durant, and Draymond enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Did you see
But the
Swaggy
young guys,
P?
the young guys.
Oh,
Swaggy P
man.
was eating that up with a spoon.
hell yeah.
Jordan Bell was eating that up with a spoon because they would never get this.
Yeah.
They never really did this.
The guys that never won. it.
McCaw?
Yeah.
Did
those
you
guys
see
Loved it.
Jordan Bell
I was happy for
killed
those guys.
2 balls of Hennessy
Hennessy.
on the parade route. He stopped.
Incredible.
He stopped the parade because he was out of Hennessy on the bus, got
got it
off
from
the
a
bus, saw a fan drinking a bottle of Hennessy, took the bottle from the fan, and killed it on the street. That's just fun. Like that's just
crazy,
funness. Like I love that.
I want his jersey now.
Yeah, no, Jordan Bell's the man. Like he was the new no shirt J.R.
Inspirational.
Smith.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I like Jordan Bell. I like him. I don't
Yeah.
think he's a good player. Well, he's not a bad player.
And he doesn't mess up in the playoffs. Like,
Hey.
So he's
Yeah.
solid. He's
He's
like
good.
Jason Tatum. Like they solid.
Mm.
Dude. Like
Jason Tatum's sick. Like
well,
he's
yeah, Jason
done.
Tatum is
He's
different
sick.
level, but their composure.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
he's
basketball player.
especially being young.
Yeah.
He's that's fair. Or Terry Rozier. Scary
Yeah.
Terry is the man.
So, last thing here, what's worse? Stephen Curry not knowing how to light a cigar, or Kevin Durant not knowing how to pop bottles?
Oh man, definitely. I was very surprised about Kevin Durant. Steph Curry, that did not surprise me at all. That man.
He's not a smoker. He's like 12.
No.
It's like that commercial that he
no.
has with that car. I don't know what car commercial he's in, but it's like, oh, I'm a bad guy or whatever. And
Oh,
his wife
man.
calls like, did you pick up the groceries?
I never seen that commercial.
No,
No,
it's
that's
hilarious.
that's an
You guys
American
gotta
commercial.
search
Steph
that.
Curry
Yeah,
is
I
so
got YouTube.
soft, man.
That's what it is. The fact that he can't light a cigar doesn't surprise me. He probably smoked once before, and that was
Yeah.
the last
Yeah, the
championship.
last championship.
So that doesn't surprise me. Kevin Durant popping balls, he probably does that every day. Like, he
Right,
should
like
know how to
Steph
do that.
Curry also does like karaoke and
Yeah.
watches
Well-
Elmo and appears on Sesame Street. So like,
But
I
maybe
don't, you know, like this is just it's just a different side of Steph Curry.
I was just laughing so hard watching him light it. I was like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. Why are you doing this on TV?
it's the fact of
Ask for
one, he
help.
didn't even know he was on TV. But two, it's the fact of he's a
Well,
kid.
Well, last year was when he did it. He was on the panel with the other broadcasters. I think with like
Chuck
Charles
and-
Barkley
yeah.
and stuff, right? And he's sitting there like, oh, I saved this from last year when we lost. Like, this is the same cigar that we were supposed to smoke last year. And then we got like the whole 3-1 thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I'll be saving it for this moment. He's like lighting it, and it's like,
Oh, he
no,
was so
it's
confident.
so bad for you.
He's not a smoker, so I don't mind Durant. But Durant not popping balls, he probably pays people to do it for him.
Well, that's what happened. Like, he
Yeah.
took longer this year than he did last year to pop the bottle. And this year he needed help.
Yeah.
He was on the bus. The guy came over and is
Did
like,
it for
okay,
him.
help it. He starts popping off. And then as the assistant is about to pop it off,
Durant takes
goes
it.
like this.
Yeah, he's like, I got it now.
He's like, I got it, bro. Like, relax.
Thanks, Mom.
Oh my God.
Durant, I don't know. It's just they're just over celebrating now.
So funny.
That's
I don't know.
so funny.
I like the Warriors. I don't really like the Warriors, but
Mhm.
well done, well fought season. They deserve the win. They were heads and shoulders the best team this playoffs.
I like the narrative now that it's like, which team is going to come up with a team to
To
take
beat
down the
Warriors.
Warriors?
Yeah, now it's who's gonna beat the Warriors.
Because
It's
we
just
know
like back in the day,
it's
who's
not
gonna
staying in the
beat
Cavaliers.
who's gonna beat Michael.
Yeah.
That was what it was. Who's gonna beat Chicago? What's gonna happen? So I don't know. Looking forward to it here. We still got some more off-season stuff to be talking about for sure as the more information comes about who's going where. July 1st is the first official day of free agency when people can actually start signing contracts.
The draft will happen by then.
Yep.
Mhm.
So they'll know who's
Excited
going
about
where. We're
that.
going to see some big trades. Who has the first overall pick this year? Is it Phoenix? Well, they have
I
second.
can't remember.
Someone has the first overall. Obviously, someone has the first overall. I think Phoenix does. If it's not first, they have second. So it's going to be something good to look at going forward, seeing some more drafts, updates, and whatnot. Any last minute thoughts that people want to put out here today? So we'll, as always, they're Raptor Den fans. If you made it through the whole podcast, you the real MVP. Thank you and have a great season.